Here are a few interesting questions on sum of vectors and difference of vectors. When I say sum of vectors, I really mean magnitude of their sum and magnitude of their difference. In test papers, I have seen many times similar questions and students struggling to answer them. So this series has communication questions, so you need to explain your answers. Answers may be simple, but we need a good explanation for each one of them. So question number 1 here is, explain how can you find the vectors if you are given their sum and difference. If you are given their sum and difference. Okay, excuse me for the typing errors. Well, let's go with the question once again. C1, explain how can you find the vectors if you are given their sum and difference. So what we're trying to say is that there are two vectors, let us say vector u and vector v. So if we know their sum, let us say the sum of these two vectors is a, and a is known, right? So a will be a vector, of course. We say a is known. And let's say we know their difference also. So we have u and we have v. And let's say their difference is b, and b is known. That means a, vector a and vector b are known, right? Then you need to explain how will you find vector a and vector v. So the question is, how will you find vector u and how will you find vector v? This is the question. Correct? Do you understand? Explain how can you find the vectors, these two, if you are given their sum and difference. So if you are given their sum, this is their sum and this is their difference, you need to figure out how to find u and v. That is the question. So I hope you get it. So write down your answer and then look into my suggestion, right? So here is how I will do it. Very simple. I think that will be a shocker to you. Now what we can do is, let us say this is my equation number 1 and this is my equation number 2. Now what happens if I add equation 1 and 2? Tell me. If I add these two equations, what do I get? U plus u is 2u, correct? And v minus v is 0. And here we get vector a plus vector b. Well, that's good. So we have isolated u, and u therefore is equal to half of vector a plus b. Does it make sense? Half of this, right, is half of this. That's what we get. And that is how you can find u. So u is a plus b divided by 2. Do you see that? How simple it is. Now you know how to find v, right? It is 1 minus 2. So solving equations, like you solve linear equations. So if I do 1 minus 2, u minus u 0, and vector v minus vector v gives me 2 times vector v. That is equal to a minus b. And therefore, my other vector v is equals to a minus b divided by 2, which I can also write as half of a minus b, right? I'm purposely writing it in different ways, all mean the same thing, right? You can write half after, before, under, whatever. When you calculate, you get the same answer. So that is how, if you are given sum of two vectors and if you are given difference of two vectors, then you can find the vectors themselves. Do you see that? Now in the coming videos, we will further analyze these sum and difference things and try to answer this question graphically and in different ways, okay? I hope you'll love this series. All the best.